Hey guys, this is Lee from AFE Power. Today we're going to be installing the Takeda cold air intake on this 2025 Honda Civic 2.0 NA. Alright, so first things first, we got to remove these 3 screws using a 10mm socket. So let's go ahead and do that. First, we're going to disconnect the MAF sensor from the connection right here. Next, what we're going to want to do is detach the harness from the airbox. Next thing we're going to remove, there's 2 bolts that are on the side of the airbox. They're a little hard to see. I do recommend using extensions to get down to them. So they're 10mm bolts that you gotta remove. Then you reach down in there, take them out. Be very careful not to drop them in the engine bay. Alright, so now we're gonna disconnect this hose right here. So we're gonna use the pliers to squeeze the clamp and then just simply pull up, just like that. Using a 5.5mm socket, we're gonna loosen up this clamp right here on the throttle body. All right, so now we're gonna pull the tube off the throttle body here. Once that's off, we're gonna do is grab the bottom of the airbox and then pull straight up. Now we're gonna remove this factory bracket by removing 3 screws. Some models only have these 2. This one has all 3, so we're gonna remove those 3 using a 10mm socket. Using a Phillips screwdriver, we're gonna transfer our MAP sensor over to the Takeda tube. We're gonna use the provided screws. And we're gonna use a T20 to secure these down. Like that. All right, so now we're going to transfer the factory grommet over to our Takeda housing. So what we want to do is push the metal clip out and then remove the rubber grommet. Now insert the rubber grommet in and then feed the metal insert in. All right, so we're going to pre-install the clamps onto the coupler here. We're going to slide it onto our throttle body there. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to slide the tube into the coupler. So, just like that. And we're going to leave the clamps loose for now. Some models with automatic transmission have this coolant hose that runs from the top to the transmission that may interfere with the Takeda housing. So in order for us to check to make sure it's not interfering, let's go ahead and drop the housing in and check for clearance. As you guys can see here, the hose is touching the housing here. So I'm gonna show you guys what we need to do in order to get clearance. Before we start the next steps, what we wanna do is we wanna make sure the engine is fully cooled down so we could avoid any burns or injuries. First steps, we wanna locate the lower portion of the coolant line. So we're gonna slide this clamp back. Make sure we are not pulling that hose off. The next thing is we're gonna wanna mark a line straight across so we know how much to turn it. Once we have our marking, we're gonna go ahead and move this a 1/4 turn counterclockwise. Just like that. We're gonna slide this clamp back on. Now we're gonna locate the top part of the same coolant hose, which is right here. We're gonna follow the same steps. We're gonna slide back this pinch clamp, make sure we are not removing that hose right here. Then we're gonna mark our reference point right here. Straight across. And we're gonna twist it a 1/4 turn counterclockwise. Like that. And we're gonna slide the clamp back in. All right, now we're gonna drop the housing in and check for clearance. And as you guys can see, we're all clear. All All right, we're gonna put the filter into the housing. Just simply slide it in and lock it into place. Just like that. Walk over. Now we're gonna make sure everything is aligned properly. And then we're gonna use the 2 screws we removed earlier, and we're gonna put them back. Now we're gonna tighten them up. Just like that. So now we're gonna reinstall the rear mount screw. Now we're gonna secure it. And now we're gonna install the tube. We're gonna first insert it into the coupler here, and then into the filter like this. Now we're gonna tighten up all the clamps using an 8mm nut driver. Now we're gonna reconnect the MAP sensor. This kit includes 2 AFP power plugs to disable the factory resonator. For more intake noise, install the plugs. For less intake noise, remove them. All right, now that our install is complete, let's hear how it sounds. Okay, we're gonna get a few revs so we can get a good sound clip for you guys. Our testing revealed a 32% increase in airflow, delivering an additional gain of 10 horsepower and 9 pound-feet of torque. Now with that, our installation is complete. Thank you guys for choosing AFP Power.